G'day guys, it's Tim here. Today we're talking the 5 ways our workshops will change the way you think about money forever. Here's the reason why I'm doing this video today, guys. Next week are going to be the last workshops that I'm going to be doing, and then I'm going to be having a break, so we're not going to be having any more events until spring. So if you've been meaning to get along to one of our events, this is certainly the time to do it. And of course, if you're someone who's been to our events, I'd love to hear your comments, so please put them down in the comments box below. And if you're someone who hasn't been to our events, of course, this video is going to cover exactly what you get out of being in these events. So we get, just incredible feedback from people about these events. I've led this particular event that I'm doing next week. I've lent to, I think it's over 11,000 people. All right, so very good feedback. And here's the top 5 things that you'll get out of being in the event. So the first thing is this. Look, Winston Churchill said it, right? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So if you want to have any chance of reaching your goals, you've got to have a plan in place. And if you're going to have a plan in place, what's the first couple of things that you're going to need to know? Well, firstly, you're going to have to be able to clearly identify exactly where you're starting from. Now, because of what people are taught about money, and we're going to talk about the differences between assets and liabilities and income and things like that a little bit later on, the reality is most people have absolutely no idea where they're actually starting from. They have no idea what they're out to achieve. They have no idea what that financial future looks like for them and what it's actually going to take to be satisfied. And then, of course, the next step is they have no idea what they're going to actually have to do to be able to achieve that. So that's the number one thing that people get from coming out of the workshops. You're going to walk out the door at the end of the night being really clear about where you're starting from, where you want to get to, and what it's going to take for you to get there. The second thing that we're going to go through is the secret to saving. Now, I know that this is something that people struggle with all the time, and primarily this comes down to how we're taught about saving is actually completely backwards. So I'm going to show you the secret to saving and being able to do it in a way where it's simple, easy, and very, very reliable. This was the first thing that I was taught when I was taken under the wing of that multimillionaire who taught me how to build wealth. The first thing he taught me was the key to saving, all right? And that's what I'm going to teach you at the night. Okay, third thing, learning what a real asset actually is. A couple of things we get taught. I mean, often we get taught that things like a car is an asset. Boom, boom, absolutely no way. Another thing that we get taught is your own home is an asset. Guys, that's not the case either. Okay, if you want to, in actual fact, most people's house and the mortgage they have with their house is actually the single biggest barrier that they have to reaching those goals. It is not an asset. Also, often people get taught that business is an asset. A business is an asset. This is not the case either. So one of the things you're going to get out of being at the workshops next week is learning what a real asset is and how you can actually use them so you can reach your goals. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4. What are the best kinds of investments, okay? And why the majority of people fail. So a very common question I ask people is, which is better, property or shares? Okay, there's only one correct answer to that question. Okay, and even if we start to break it down into the different kinds of investments, okay, whether you are looking at shares or super or gold, or whether you're looking at something along the lines of property, how do you know what's actually going to be best for you? Now, the reality is this. Also, the majority of people actually fail when it comes to investing. If we look at property investment, which is a very common form of investment here in Australia, 75% of investors only ever own one, and one is not going to be enough to get you to your goal. So how come the overwhelming majority of people who, if they take the path of property investing, fail? So how are you going to know what's actually going to be the best property investment for you, and how can you use it to actually reach your goals and avoid what most people are doing and failing at? Okay, so that's 4. 5, who out there is paying way too much tax? Okay, I'm pretty sure that every single person's got their hand up right now. So the thing that I want to run through, or be able to teach you guys, is how can you pay the least amount of tax possible? And of course, we want to do this in a way that's totally legal. Okay, now there are so many different structures out there. There are so many different mechanisms that you can use to reduce your tax. In fact, one of the very famous sayings I remember from a Senate commission that Kerry Packer was facing, he said, any person that is not doing everything that they possibly can to reduce their tax need their head read. And that is exactly right for you. Exactly the same for you, okay? People pay way too much tax here. If you can get that number down, you want to get that down. So guys, they are the top 5 things that people get out of coming to the workshop. Like I said, if you come along with the workshop, I promise you, not only will you get those 5 things, you're going to get a hell of a lot more, and you're going to walk out the door at the end of the night being super, super glad glad that that is exactly what you did. Okay, so like I said, next week is going to be the last workshops that we have before we go on our break. We're not going to be doing any more workshops until we enter the spring. So if you've been meaning to get along, now's the time to register. I'm going to put the links in the comment box so you're able to click on those links and get a couple of tickets so you can come and see me speak. Thanks for being on the Facebook Live tonight, guys. Great to speak to you, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.